Yay, I found it. Okay, so today I understand I'm not going to give you an extensive one. It's just a highlights and over the home recovery care. And the reason I don't think that we need to spend a lot of time on it, it's very similar to our home care plus. So I know these materials are strictly for training purposes only. Today, I was just going to touch real quickly. I'm not going to spend any time really telling you who we are. You already know who we are, but more like of what to ask your questions, the product review, easing online tools, and we're always here to help you. So a little bit about Aetna. About here we are. We are completely separate from the Medicare Advantage side. We've been in the industry for over 39 years. The company's been around since the 1800s. Moving forward, again, you already know a lot about us, but I really wanted to point this out. I like to refer this to as our resume. You can see where we've been and where we're going. A lot of people get confused. They're like, wait a minute, who's this Ascendo? What are they part of Aetna? Yeah. It's under the whole umbrella. As you know, with a lot of company mergers, the new company wants their stamp on a product. Now, we're not going to eliminate what we already have. So it's just going to be an addition to. So we have two Medicare supplements. We have the Aetna and the Ascendo, and we have two final expenses under the Aetna and Ascendo. They are designed differently when it comes to, because I mean, you could put in the criteria and get two different premiums. But I can tell you the underwriting is the same. So moving forward. So when it comes to needs analysis, what to ask your clients, you always want to get them thinking. And the key is to listen and look for those triggers on what your clients want. Get them thinking. If it's not today's discussion, plant that seed for tomorrow. Like, here's some sample questions to help expect the unexpected. Does your client have the money set aside to pay for custodial care? Does their family? Would they like to protect their savings and not have to go through the hardship of spending down to qualify for Medicaid? Or do they want their loved one dealing with their incontinence? I know my pop would have just had a conniption fit if he knew I had to help with his changings when he went in his coma. So, I mean, it's just a lot of those things people don't really think about. Or if they prefer, they can pay a loved one to do their custodial caretaking. You know, maybe they don't want anyone else in their house. You know, there are a lot of people who are very private. You know, we don't dictate how the money is spent. They can use it for whatever they need for. So as you can see, risks increase with age. 70% of Americans who reach 65 will be unable to take care of themselves at some point without assistance. Or you can see almost 800,000 Americans will have a stroke every year. My grandfather had one, and after that, he had to basically live in a wheelchair the rest of his life because he could not do anything on the right-hand side. So, I mean, it really does have a devastating effect to them and their loved ones. And usually a lot of people don't really consider, they think it's just me. No, it's how does it impact the whole family too? You can see 33% of the people age 65 or older fall each year. 90% of the older adults that have some type of chronic disease, and almost 80% of those will have more than one. You know, they start to kind of like wheelbarrow, or you get one that causes an issue elsewhere, and next thing you know, you're really dependent on your family for that care. So, they can be prepared. So I know these figures have definitely gone up, mostly because, I look at what milk cost in 2020 and what milk costs today. The median care for the US was $53,768 per year for the homemaker services, and almost 55,000 for the home care aid. Those cares, they go up and up and up. And that's the part that really, makes their life a little bit more bearable. Because, I know I am a caretaker. Unfortunately, my house is already on fire. I can't get it right now, but this would be a huge solution to take off the burden and the life force sucking it can be, being the one and only. If, they have somebody in place, at least they know that this will take care of that. And they don't have to, be a burden towards their family. So we'll dig into the meat of this on the actual plan, not, what building up of why, but, this one is only in Texas. Now, since Texas didn't allow us to add riders to the Home Care Plus plan, we decided to make a new one and we bumped it up. We had a lot of requests for more money. And so that's what we did with this plan. Now, it does go up to $3,000 per week. And because it does have that higher payout, it is going to match the same underwriting as the recovery care. And that's also what's going to be the trigger too. So if you're familiar with our recovery care product, it's going to be very similar. If you pair those two, you can get double the time for them. And I'm always cross-selling, but the recovery care product, that has bed reservation. And that's something that we saw during COVID where people had to leave and go into the hospital. When they came back, they didn't have a bed left. They had to find somewhere else, struggle to, find another place that's nearby or convenient for the rest of the family. That'll take care of it for them. And, obviously it pays the same competitive commission. But I was going to say is that it's got the same underwriting. So you don't have to ask multiple questions if you are pairing those two together. And then that way they can just get a more roundabout plan for the what do you call it? Again, I'm sorry, I'm a little sick, so my head's a little cloudy, but it'll help them for the facility care. That's what I was trying to think. And also once they get home and they transition, they can still have somebody to take care of them. So what we think, was a good example is things that they can use this money for is like companies like Visiting Angels. That's where they can, help them with their preparing their meals, take them grocery shopping or go grocery shopping. They can do light housekeeping, take them to their appointments, obviously laundry. They help them get in and out of bed. And then, the medical care, they can do the nursing, the physical therapy, occupational, or even the companion. So again, this is to help them for those type of programs like Visiting Angels, which we all love. I've met a few people that have worked in or worked for them, and I just think they're awesome. I really, really do. Because a lot of people, especially when they're not feeling well, they may feel isolated. And, this will be a nice relief because they don't have to do it alone. And if they have a loved one, then they can pay the loved one who's doing it for them. So the available benefits, it is issued ages 50 to 89, and we go by their last birthday. You can do up to $3,000 weekly benefits, and the increments can be $150 per week. They can choose as little as 13 weeks, or they can go up to 52 weeks of coverage. And this does include the lifetime maximum benefit, where if they have their waiting period without any care, it can be triggered again. So they're able to do that twice. Now, I did a calculation real quick to show you how this could be such a payout. So let's just say they did $3,000 times 52 weeks. That's going to be $156,000. And that's non-taxable. So they don't have to pay any taxes on it. And again, it's not restricted in any way on how they spend that money. Additional benefit features, they, sorry, trying to keep from coughing. As I mentioned before, non-taxable. It's always guaranteed renewable. Our plans will not go up due to their health or due to their age. So that's with any of our plans minus med-sups. That's just how those are designed. But with any of our plans, once they get into the plan, it is locked at that age. There is a 30-day free look period where we will go ahead and refund the premium if they decide this is not a fit for them. There is a 6-month look back if they try to file a claim within 6 months to make sure that they properly answered the questions. But other than that, if they have, what triggers the payout is if they cannot perform 2 or more of their ADLs, bathing, dressing. So that's where, once we realize or get the documentation from the physician, then we'll go ahead and pay out the money that they had chosen. Now, this will pay for the medical and non-medical care. So think about it. When you think about Medicare, they will only pay for limited home care. That's like 1 hour every other day. And typically that's going to only be for 2 to 3 weeks. They're going to need care a lot longer than that. This plan pays and gives them what they need. Again, it will pay for the non-medical care. Just recap the preparing meals, grocery shopping. And to me, that's part of my whole day is trying to figure out what can I make that she can and will eat. So just, you can always take a look at the brochure. They have great examples on it. And it's a great way to build and show how there is a need for your client and that we can help them pay for it. Immediate coverage, there's no deductible or elimination period other than we will pay. That's why I said if it's filed within the 6 months, when we prove that, it wasn't anything that they were aware of, then it will pay out. There's no prior hospitalization required. Again, we just need to make sure that they cannot perform their 2 or more of their ADLs. The benefits are paid out each week. And that's just basically what I was telling you, 2 or more of the activities of daily living. Sorry, trying to breathe around. You can ask all the health questions when it comes to actually filling out the application. I've asked our underwriters for all of our plans, are there certain illnesses that are a definite no? They all say, just look at the drugs, just take a look at the medications and go through the drug list. You can, we have the actual PDF. You can go in your agent portal, type them in, or I'm sure you guys already have maybe some software that helps you with that, but they're more concerned about what they're taking. And, like if you have a client, I will tell you, if you have a client that you can tell will not pass for this, because again, it's going to be a little bit steeper underwriting because it does pay out more. However, the home care plus is looser. So you can have a client that has Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, and they could apply or qualify for that. Most likely they won't for this one. So, it's nice to be able to have both of those in your back pocket. So filing a claim, as I mentioned before, the forms are not required. We're just going to need documentation showing that they aren't able to perform their ADLs. It's just like if requested, a generic claim form is available for them to use if they need to help filling it out. So this one's a quick one, right? Easy online tools. I went ahead and threw this out there because I've had agencies that say they have their own system, but then they turn around and go, I just need a quick quote. We'll use our quotes on the go. You can be out and about. I mean, you could be flying down the freeway and do a quote. Now, I'm not telling you to drive and text, but that's the point. It's that easy that you can just pull it up. And I love it because it has the toggle. It's like, I think if the price is right, you can toggle the amount and hit quote and it'll customize. So if you have a client that has a small budget, you can sit there and shave off the increments of 150, 150, 150 till you get it down to that amount that they can afford. Because you want to make sure it's not something that they're going to be regretting later. But if they think, hey, if I pay $45 now, it'll help me save in the long run. And again, not have to spend down, not have to ask money from family members or be a burden to others in the family. But yes, you can do multiple quotes on that app too. So if they ask you, well, what would it be for the whole year? You can do it there too. It'll even let you do 2 people at once. And so here's where you can go to your App Store or Google Play, look for quotes on the go. It does not require you to sign in. So that's why I said it's so easy. You can just type the criteria and on your way you are. So this is an older version. We just updated, I think like a week or 2 ago, but it's still the same. It just looks a little different. They were hoping to make it pop more. I like the original version, but again, still the same stuff. Let's see. So we always want to make sure that if anything happens to the information that you have on your client, whether it be a folder, I just say if you feel that whatever you have has been compromised, please let us know. We want to make sure we protect you, and most importantly, the client. You can call 1-800-682-3213, and we'll make sure that we follow the proper protocols. So we are here to help. And there's an email right there. So I would say if you've got a busy day and you just have a quick question, you don't have time to, call or chat, whatever, send us an email. It can be an issue, it can be a question, or just whatever, because they will divert it to the right departments. I get these sometimes, they're like, well, Justine, can you help? Because I do a lot of the DVH webinars. So even though they're in Connecticut, I always get those questions. But yeah, they will help you. Check your email, you'll get your answers. We have the website, aetnaseniorproducts.com, which is a place that, the members can go to manage their own membership, order new cards. They can do chat in there too. They can even check on their claims in their member portal or change their banking information. So we give them a lot of access to their membership if they're internet savvy or they have a family member that can help them with that. Or you can do the old-fashioned method and call us. I will tell you, if you do not hear that Tennessee twang, all the overflows, if the phone lines are busy, the overflow will go to our Caribbean call center. I've I've tried to call them on sometimes, seeing if they were, because I've had agents tell me that, oh, they didn't tell me the right stuff. Well, we ended up listening to the calls. They did everything they were supposed to. So I'm just going to give them credit. They do their job, but if you prefer that Tennessee twang, hang up and call again. You'll get the next person. Or you can do chat. Those are actually buyer seasoned people. They'll be able to help you real quickly. Or you can call me. I'm the knucklehead under Kevin Moore. I'm the regional sales manager. That's my telephone number, my email address. And if you try to reach me in the next 3 weeks, I'm going to tell you the best method is to text me or email me, because I'm going to be either flying down the freeway, hopefully not doing quotes and not getting a ticket. But at least if I can't answer you right then and there, I can shoot it to the right person to help you. Or Suzanne, she's our eyes in the sky. She's in our home office. Lots of times they're like, Suzanne, help. But yeah, we're all here for you. The one thing we don't want you to feel is like you're alone with our products. If you have any difficulty answering a question for your client or trying to come up with an option for them, let us know. We want to be here to help you. Or if you have an idea for a plan, give us that competitive edge. But yeah, this is pretty much it. So you said give you 20 minutes, man. Here we go. It's 4:20.
That was perfect. I appreciate everything. Just real quick, any quick questions that Justine can answer?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I have quite a few people that have had that have Home Care Plus, and if they're healthy, because I know the criteria is a little tougher, obviously, for the home recovery care since it's so great. I love it. But if they're healthy and they can answer no to all the questions, what is the difference between home care and home recovery care? It's pretty much the same coverage, right? They just get better benefits and it could be twice as long. Or is there a major difference or a difference I should be more aware of?
There's two differences. I'd say it's the amount. So the home care only goes up to $1,200 per week.
Right.
The home recovery care goes up to $3,000 per week.
Right.
And but that's where, yeah.
But I'm talking about as far as their benefits or something that might not be covered with home recovery care that they had with Home Care Plus. I'm talking about the benefits more. I mean,
I've looked them side by side, trying to figure out what it is, and it boils down as it's more money.
That's what I thought.
It's just more money. And so, they said, well, they're not letting us add riders to the recovery. And they're like, you know what? Let's just make a bigger and better plan. So that's pretty much it. And, because it is a higher amount, that another difference is that it's going to follow the underwriting of the recovery care.
Right. Okay. So they're not going to miss out on anything if they get home recovery care instead of the Home Care Plus. They're not missing. Okay. No. That was my main question. Thank you.
No. Yeah, but I want to, because I'm always cross-selling, because of riders, I wanted to point this out. If you have anyone who might want a rider of cancer, I'd suggest do it as an individual plan, because all the riders go by our original cancer plan, which was 10-year look back. So if you have a client, they're wanting that coverage, I'd say do it as an individual policy. And that way, if they ever had to cut back stuff, they can, shave off a plan and not lose the whole thing. And that way they can keep that cancer heart attack plan.
Right.
Could you explain the 6-month look back again? If they file a claim within 6 months of the effective date, what happens?
They're just going to go back to the underwriting questions and make sure that those were answered appropriately and honestly. So that's it. It's just the underwriting. The underwriting questions is what they're going to want to be verified by their physician.
Okay. And the 30-day free look, does that start when it drafts? Let's say if the draft date and effective date are the same date, is that when that 30-day free look starts, that they could get the premium refunded?
It would be the day their policy starts.
Effective date, okay,
Right. Because it's within their 30-day membership.
okay.
I've been told that it's when they receive the agreement in the mail.
No.
The policy pages?
Yeah, I've been told that once they have to receive the policy in the mail so that they can look at it, and it may be after it's effective. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but
I mean,
that
I
it-
can verify, but to me, that's too wishy-washy because it's like, well, when did they actually get it? And how do you know they got it? So
I agree. But if they didn't get it, how can they know what they've got, right?
exactly. Yeah. I can follow up on that question for you and let Luke know so I can get a definite answer. But my understanding was the policy when it goes into effect.
Yeah, that was my
Especially with
understanding as well.
COVID, we had so many issues with the mail, so many issues. So
And then the 6-month waiting period, the way I explain it, and I just want to make sure I'm explaining it correctly. I always tell them, look, if you use it for 2 months or a week or whatever, once you kick it off and then you don't need it anymore, if you go 6 months between the two needs, if it's 6 months and 1 day, then a second 52-week benefit kicks in. Is that okay to say?
you said the 6 months?
Yeah, I've heard that you have to wait 6 months in between your needs. You have to have a 180-day pause of need before you can kick in that second 52-week period.
Yeah, I don't remember that part. Let me see.
Oh, that was
Go back.
that was a big deal at the meeting when it was introduced to us. There has to be a 6-month waiting period in between your need. You have to have a 6-month break between your needs in order to kick in that second 52-week period.
Okay, so that's their home recovery care. This one is the home care plus. So the home care plus does have that portion where it says where the period of care when they're end the last time they've had any home care services and they last 180 days, it renews itself. It should be the same thing on the other one, which I don't know why we don't have that slide on there. Recovery care. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, same thing. So I will definitely find out for you because it wasn't on the slides and I don't want to be misquoted, but I'm pretty confident it's going to mimic this because it mimics the underwriting and the same triggers in order to get the payout. But I will find out for sure and let Luke know.
Okay,
Great
thank you.
questions. Any other questions? Justine, I appreciate you.
Yeah,
looking
I
it
have
up.
a quick question. I just want to verify something. Okay, so this is with the Home Health Care Plus. And so I'm in Pennsylvania, but so I know you have the initial 52 weeks with in Pennsylvania, you have a 52 weeks with a maximum of 104 weeks. So with that 6-month wait period, say they used 2 weeks. My understanding is they used those 2 weeks. And then if they don't use it again for 6 months, that does unlock the additional 52 weeks, correct?
Correct, because it would start
Okay.
over.
I just wanted to verify that. Because that's what I do tell people. And that's what I've been told. I just wanted to check to make sure with you. Cause that's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
No, that's a great question. Because yeah, it renews itself.
perfect. So, I mean, so just using it one time, potentially, that way they'll unlock that additional 52 weeks after 6 months. Cause they might have like, say 3 months where they're, needing it, and then they're not going to need it again, but that definitely unlocks that additional 52 weeks.
Right.
Perfect.